Hi everybody, today I am recording the video lesson for the day 7. For this I have made PPTs and with the help of the PPTs now I am going to teach a lesson on the simple stresses and strains. The subtopic is the stresses in uniformly varying cross sections and also in composite sections. First, we'll study the stresses and strains in uniformly varying cross sections. So our object is to study the stresses and strains in the bodies of uniformly varying cross sections and also in the composite sections. Now, so what is a uniformly varying cross section? If a body is having the same diameter throughout its length, it is called as the uniform bar. So it is having the constant diameter, same diameter throughout its length. On the other hand, if the diameter changes over the length or the cross sectional area changes, then it is called as a uniformly varying cross sections. For example, in this figure, a bar is made up of two sections, section 1 and section 2. Section 1 is having a diameter d1 over a length of l1 and section 2 is having a diameter d2 over a length of l2. The total length of the bar is equal to l1 plus l2 is the l, and whereas it is having the two diameters d1 and d2, and accordingly the area also will vary from section 1 to section 2. So this bar is called as the uniformly varying cross section. So sometimes this kind of examples are required in the case of the engineering applications. In that case also we are supposed to find out what is the stress value and strain value at different sections and also the total elongation of the bar by considering into the different sections. So for this, first of all, let a bar containing the different cross-sectional areas with diameters d1 and d2 having lengths l1 and l2 respectively as shown in the figure. Now let this member is subjected to a axial pull of P newtons. Here as the bar is having the different cross sections, the stresses developed in the bar are different at two sections, and accordingly the elongation also different at two sections, and the total elongation of the bar can be found by finding the elongation at section 1 and elongation of the section 2 and adding the two elongations, so then we'll get the total elongation of the bar. So we know the formulas for the stress. Stress is equal to F is equal to P by A. But here the bar is subjected to the same pull force P newtons. So the force P is constant and equal for two sections, whereas the area changes. Therefore, the stress at section 1 F1 is equal to P by A1. P means the force, nothing but P1 by A1. P1 is also nothing but the P by A1. And elongation delta 1 is equal to P into L1 by A1 into E. Because the material is made up with the same, the member is made with the same material at section 1 and section 2 also. Therefore, the E will remain constant for both sections. Now, the stress at section 2 F2 is equal to P2 by A2. But here P1 and P2 both are same, that is P, therefore P by A2. And elongation is equal to delta L2 is equal to P into L2 by A2 into E. These are the formulas for the stresses and elongation. Now the total elongation of the bar or the two it can be found by the equation that the total elongation delta L is equal to elongation at section 1 plus elongation at section 2. So we got the equations for the elongations at section 1 and section 2. So that is equal to P into L1 by A1 into E plus P into L2 by A2 into E. Here the P by E is constant. P, the load is constant for two sections, and also the Young's modulus is also constant for two sections. So P by E is the constant term that we can take common. Then elongation becomes P by E into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2, like that. Even some cases, if the bar is made up of two or more sections, then the elongations can be formed by P by E into L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3 and so on. And here also very important thing, if the section is sometimes the section is subjected to the tensile force or pull force. Sometimes the section is subjected to the push type force or the compressive force. So as we know that tensile force will develop the elongation, so that produces the increase in length, whereas the compressive force will result in contraction or decrease in length. So accordingly, the sign conventions can be taken. If it produces elongation, we can take positive. If the force produces contraction, we should take the negative sign. Now we will work out a problem on this one. An axial load of 25 kilonewtons is acting on a bar consisting of two lengths, that is 250 mm length and 30 mm diameter and 200 mm length and 20 mm diameter. If the Young's modulus is 2 into 10 power 5 newtons per square millimeter, determine the stress in each section and total elongation. So here a bar is subjected to a load, axial load, and this bar is having the two sections, section 1 and section 2, and E value is given. Then we are supposed to find out the stresses, that is F1 and F2, and also the total elongation, that is delta. It is nothing but the delta L1 and delta L2. Now, based on the problem, this is the figure, this is the bar made up of two sections. The section 1 is having a diameter of 20 millimeters over a length of 200 mm, and section 2 is having a diameter of 30 millimeters over a length of 250 millimeters. So here D1 is equal to 20, L1 is equal to 200 mm, and D2 becomes 30 millimeters and L2 becomes 250 millimeters. So this is the given data given. Axial load P is equal to 25 kilonewtons, that is equal to 25,000 newtons. Diameter at section 1 D1 is equal to 20 millimeters. Length at section 1 L1 is equal to 200 millimeters. Diameter D2 is equal to, that is at section 2, 30 millimeters. Length L2, that is at section 2, is equal to 250 millimeters. And Young's modulus is given for the material as 2 into 10 power 5 newtons per square millimeter. Now coming to the solution. First of all, we have to find out the area 1 and area 2. So area 1, A1, 5 by 4 into 20 square, it becomes 314 square millimeters. Area 2, A2 is equal to 5 by 4 into 30 whole square, it becomes 706.5 square millimeters. Now the stress in each section. So first of all, stress in section 1, F1 is equal to force by area. Here P1 by A1. So here the force acting at section 1 is equal to P. So P by A1. So substituting the values, that is 25,000 by 314, it gives the 79.58 newtons per square millimeter. Similarly, the stress at section 2, F2 is equal to P2 by A2. Here P2 is nothing but the force acting at section 2 also same, that is also equal to P. Therefore F2 is equal to P by A2. So substituting the values, 25,000 by 706.5, it coming to be 35.36 newtons per square millimeter. Now coming to the elongation part. Here, to find out the elongation of the bar, because this bar is having the two sections and loaded with same force but having the two different areas of cross sections at two sections. Therefore, we have to find out the elongation of the area 1 and elongation at area 2, that is elongation of the section 1 and elongation of the section 2. Then by adding the elongation of the section 1 and section 2, then we can able to find out the total elongation of the bar. Now first of all, the elongation of the section 1 delta L1 is equal to, we know the formula, stress into length by Young's modulus, that is FL by E. So here, because it is for section 1, so F1 into L1 by E. Therefore, substituting the values, we got all the values here. 79.58 into 200 by 2 into 10 power 5. So it is equal to 0.079 millimeters. Now coming to the elongation at section 2, elongation of the section 2, delta L2 is equal to F2 into L2 by E. So substituting the values, 35.36 into 250 by 2 into 10 power 5. So it is equal to 0.044 millimeters. Now the total elongation of the bar. The total elongation of the bar is nothing but the elongation of the bar of section 1 and the elongation of the bar of section 2. And here also one of the important thing is the both sections are subjected to the tensile force, that is the axial pull. Therefore, so it produces the only elongation, no contraction. Therefore, we have to add the elongation of the section 1 and elongation of the section 2. Therefore, the total elongation delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2. So that is nothing but the 0.079 plus 0.044. So it is equal to 0.123 millimeters. So this is the total elongation of the bar. So in this problem, we have worked out the stresses at section 1 and stress at section 2 and also the total elongation of the bar. So this is the problem on the bars of varying cross section. So in this case, what is happening is, even the bar is subjected to the same amount of force, the section 1 and section 2, but due to the varying in cross section of the section 1 and section 2, two different stresses will set up. The stress F1 is different from that of the stress developed in section 2 F2, and we can notice that maximum amount of stress will be developed in the section where it is having the minimum diameter or the minimum area of cross section, and the minimum stress is developed where the area of cross section is maximum, and that minimum amount of stress will be developed in the section where it is having the maximum area or maximum diameter or the larger diameter, that we must note. That's why in the in this example here section 1 is having the larger area, sorry, section 1 is having the smaller area. This is the section 1 having the smaller area, and the section 2 is having the larger area. So section 1 is having the maximum stress, that is 79, and section 2 is having the minimum stress, that is 35. Next, the composite sections. Just now we have discussed about the sections having the uniformly varying cross-sectional areas. Now this is called as the composite sections. So here, if a bar is made up of two or more different materials and rigidly connected together, then that bar is called as the composite bar. Even the name itself, the what is the name? Composite means it is not simple, it is not uniform, it is composed of the different materials. It may be two or more materials combined together, rigidly joined together, but to act like a single bar, and that bar is called as the composite bar. So when the two or more materials are joined together to act like a single bar, then the total bar, or we can say that the system will expand or contracts like a single unit, and it is subjected to a force. When it is subject to force, it will have the it will act like a single member. Now this is one of the example. There is a copper tube. The copper tube having the outer diameter and inner diameter, and there is a steel rod. The steel rod is inserted in the copper tube. Here the steel rod is having the different area, copper tube is having the different area, but both the steel rod and the copper tube are rigidly joined to the both ends of the steel rod and copper tube are joined together. Both ends are closed. Then if some kind of force is applied, some amount of force is applied externally to that bar, then that bar behaves like a single unit, and it is called as the composite bar. Here the copper tube area is different, and that can be found by using the equation. Similarly, the steel rod also, area of the steel rod is different, that also can be found by using the equation. Now in case of this composite bars, we are having the some conditions. So we should the composite bars should satisfy the following two conditions, and based on these conditions we will get to two equations, and with the help of these two equations we will try to find out the stresses, strains and elongations produced in the composite sections or the composite bars. The first one is because the strains are equal in the constant materials of the bar. Here what is happening is in this example the steel rod and copper tube both are joined together, and some amount of load is externally applied to this composite bar. Here what is happening is the total unit, the whole bar will act like a single unit, and it will expand or contract like a single unit when it is subjected to the amount and kind of or the nature of the load. So in this case here, here this bar is made up of two materials. So therefore here what is happening is the strain produced in steel and strain produced in the copper both are one and same, both are equal. That is the first condition. So whenever a composite bar is subjected to some kind of external loads, some amount of external load, then the strains produced in the constituent materials of the bar are equal. That is, the strain produced in the steel rod must be equal to the strain produced in the copper tube. That is the first condition. The second one is the total load acting on the composite bar is equal to the sum of the load shared by the constant materials of the bar. That is, the total load acting on the bar is nothing but the sum of the load shared by the steel rod plus load shared by the copper tube. So that gives the total load. Total load is equal to load shared by the steel rod and load shared by the copper tube. That will give the total load acting in the bar. So based on these two conditions, we can able to solve any kind of problem in case of the composite bars. Now the stresses induced in the composite sections can be calculated by using the relations like this. So this is the what is the first condition? The first condition is the strain in one material should be equal to the strain in the other material. So in this example, it is having the this composite bar is having the two materials. One is the steel and the second one is the copper. So the first condition is the strain in steel equal to the strain in copper. So we know that what is the equation? Stress by strain is equal to Young's modulus, or we know that strain is equal to stress by Young's modulus, that is F by E. So here for the steel, Fs by Es is the strain, and for the copper, Fc by Ec is the strain. Therefore in the present case, the strain in the steel must be equal to the strain in the copper. Therefore Fs by Es should be equal to Fc by Ec, or Fs by Fc is equal to Es by Ec. This is the first equation we'll get in this case. The next one is the second condition is the total load acting on the bar must be equal to the sum of the load shared by the steel and load shared by the copper. So here the total load P is equal to load shared by steel plus load shared by copper. That is P is equal to PS plus PC. So PS means the load shared by the steel, nothing but the, if you know the stress into area, Fs into As is nothing but the Ps. Similarly, Fc into Ac is nothing but the Pc, that is the load shared by the copper. So the total load P is equal to Fs into As plus Fc into Ac. This is the second equation we are going to get in case of the composite bars. Here Fs means the stress induced in the steel rod. Fc means stress induced in the copper tube. As means area of the steel rod. AC means area of the copper tube. ES, Young's modulus of the steel rod. EC, Young's modulus of the copper tube. So here, so just now we have studied about the bars of varying cross section. In that case, the bar is made up of same material, but only the area changes. Therefore, the Young's modulus will remain constant for that one. But in this case, it is of a bar having a composite section. That is, this is having the two different. This is made with the two or more different materials. When the material property changes, when the material changes, automatically the Young's modulus also changes. Therefore, Young's modulus is different for the steel and copper. So that also we should take into consideration. Now, by going through this problem, by solving this problem, we can able to understand the stresses produced in the composite sections more clearly. So we should first write down this problem, then we can go into the solution. A compound bar 0.75 meters long consists of MS bar 25 millimeters diameter enclosed by a brass tube 25 mm internal diameter and 35 mm external diameter. The two materials being rigidly joined together. Determine the stress in each material under a tensile load of 35 kilonewtons. Take Young's modulus for steel. ES is equal to 210 giganewtons per square meter and Young's modulus for brass EB is equal to 95 giganewtons per square meter. So this is the problem. Here a compound bar, nothing but a composite bar made up of two materials, two different materials. Here one is the mild steel and second one is the brass. So a mild steel bar is enclosed in a brass tube and both ends are joined together. So it will act like a single member when it is subjected to some kind of external load. So now it is subjected to some load, and Young's modulus for the two materials are given, and we are supposed to find out the stresses in each material. That is the stress in mild steel, that is Fs, and the stress in brass, that is Fb. So that we should find out. Now coming to the solution part, first we have to write down the given data. The steel is a rod, therefore the diameter of the steel rod is equal to 25 millimeters, that is ds is equal to 25. Next, in case of the brass, it is a tube. The brass tube is having the both external diameter and also internal diameter. So the external diameter of the brass tube is 35 millimeters, and internal diameter of the brass tube is equal to 25 millimeters. Then the tensile load acting on the bar is equal to 35 kilonewtons. Then ES, that is the Young's modulus for steel, is equal to 210 giganewtons per square meter, and EB is equal to 95 giganewtons per square meter. Now the first of all we have to find out the areas. So area of the steel rod AS is equal to 5 by 4 into 25 square, because it is having a rod of 25 mm diameter. So it is coming to be 490.625 square millimeters. And the area of the brass tube, so a brass tube is there with external diameter of 35 and internal of 25 mm. So area of the brass tube is 5 by 4 into 35 square minus 25 square, become coming to be 471 square millimeters. And Young's modulus ES and Young's modulus for brass EB is given. Now the first equation, here the total load acting on the bar must be equal to load shared by the steel plus load shared by the brass. So P is equal to Fs into As plus Fb into Ab. So this is the first equation. So here the areas are known. So 490 into Fs plus 471 into Fb equal to 35,000. That is the first equation. The second condition is that the strains in both materials should be same. That is, the strain in brass must be equal to strain in steel, or Fs by Es must be equal to Fb by Eb, or Fs by Eb is equal to Es by Eb. So Fs is equal to Es by Eb into Fb. So that Es by Eb is coming to be 2.21. So Fs is equal to 2.21 into Fb. This is the second equation. Now, so we have to solve the equations 1 and 2. So the equation, direct equation, the equation number 2 is substituted in equation 1 to get the value of Fb. So after getting the value of Fb, then we can find out the Fs value again by using the equation number 2. So now by solving the above equations, we can find out we arrived the values as Fs is equal to 49.72 newtons per square millimeter, and Fb is equal to 22.5 newtons per square millimeter. So this is nothing but the stress in steel is equal to 49, and stress in brass is equal to 22 newtons per square millimeters. Now coming to the quiz. A bar made up of more than one material is known as. Here the material is different. It is called option A simple bar, option B complex bar, option C composite bar, option D compound bar. So here the bar is having the two materials. So it is called as the it is called as a composite bar. The answer is option C. The next one, the stresses induced in a composite bar will be option A 0, option B equal, and option C different. So if you see the composite bar, always some stresses will be induced, but it is not equal to 0, and at the same time, because this bar is made up of the two or more different materials, so obviously the stresses developed in that materials are different. Therefore, it is not 0, it is not equal. So they are different. The answer is different. Option C are different. Now coming to the summary part. Here in this class we have discussed about the stresses developed in the composite bar, and also how to we have arrived an equation for the stresses to calculate for the stresses developed in the composite bars. Similarly, the elongation of the composite bars. And these are the questions frequently appearing in the examinations point of view. Define a composite bar, and even they may ask you to explain the procedure of finding the stresses developed in the composite bars. So in this case, you have to use the two equations to find out the stresses developed in the composite bars. Now, for your practice also, we have given the problems on the composite bars, and when you work out these problems, you will better understand the concept of stresses developed, and also the elongation of the composite bars. So here the problem is given. Here we got a copper tube and also steel rod, MS rod and a copper tube. So, and it is subject to some kind of load 40 kN, and the Young's modulus of the two materials are given, then we are supposed to find out the what are the stresses developed and also the total extension of the rod. So if you work out, you will get these answers. The stress in steel rod, stress in copper tube, and the total extension can be like this. The second question also again you are giving. Here what is happening is, in this case, a ferroconcrete column of 300 square cross section is reinforced with steel bars. The reinforcement area is being 1% of the column area. Here the area of the total column, ferroconcrete column is given. The total area is equal to 300 by 300. And here this concrete is reinforced with steel bars at the corners, and the diameter of the steel bar is not given here. But they said that it is said that the reinforcement area is being 1% of the column area. So the area is coming to be how much? 90,000. So in that the 1% area is the area of the steel. So in this way the area of the steel is, so the total area is 90,000, and in that 1% of area is steel. So remaining, so then here what is happening? The area of the concrete is equal to 99% of the column area, and area of the steel is 1% of the column area. The total area being the column area. So like that you have to calculate the areas for the steel and concrete. And next the remaining is same. The load is given, and here also one more thing is the modular ratio of steel to concrete is given as 15. This modular ratio is nothing but the ratio of the modulus of velocities, the ratios of the Young's modulus of the two materials. Because here the steel is there, concrete is there. So as we know that the steel is having the more strength, and Young's modulus is more. The concrete is having the less strength and Young's modulus is less. Therefore, the Young's modulus of the steel by Young's modulus of the concrete, that is ES by EC, equal to the 15. So that you must note, and accordingly we will get some equations and we can solve this problem. And here with that we will get these answers. The load shared by the concrete is equal to 521, like that, and the load shared by steel is 78. Stresses in steel is 87, and stresses in concrete is 5.8. So here we can see these are the answers that we are going to get after solving the problem. Here we should observe that the steel is, even the area occupied by the steel is less, it will take more amount of load, it will share more amount of load, whereas the concrete is will occupy more area, and accordingly it will share more amount of load, and whereas the steel will occupy only 1%, even then it will take more amount of the load, that is 78. And coming to the stresses, the stress developed in the steel is much more higher than that of the stress developed in the concrete. And like this, we can calculate. So with this, I am closing this class. So thank you.